Molly, I don't know what you said in your native tongue, but I reckon it was handsome Niro. Back everybody, Matt the Man here, hope you're doing well. So we finally got a new Martin Scorsese movie out. Wolfie, Wolfie. Um, it's been 4 years. The last movie was The Irishman back in 2019. I didn't even realize that was the last movie I saw with my sister and now her husband. At the time, they were not husband and wife, they were just dating. And now, 4 years later, they're married. Since the last Martin Scorsese movie. Wow. Not only that, but this is also the 10 years already since we had DiCaprio and Scorsese work together since The Wolf of Wall Street. Whoa! Shit! Been 10 years already since The Wolf of Wall Street? Wow. Wow. So, it's definitely one of those moments of we got a new DiCaprio and Scorsese movie. Yeah! And you also got, as I like to call it, the old and the new coming together. You got Robert De Niro working with Scorsese. Of course, they were with The Irishman. And of course, all those other movies back in the 80s and early 90s. But then we got, DiCaprio over here, who's been working with Scorsese ever since Gangs of New York. So he's become the new De Niro for Scorsese. But now they're both working together with Scorsese. So it's, like I said, old and new versus new coming together. Now I was also really excited about that. And we got a new movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. This is based on a book. It deals with the Osage County Indians, Native Americans, if you will. I guess sometimes I gotta be politically correct. And I was looking forward to this movie, like I said. You also got Jesse Plemons in here. Landry Clark from Friday Night Lights, who has now worked with Scorsese twice in The Irishman and now this movie. He might be becoming the next DiCaprio. Who would have thought Landry Clark from Friday Night Lights TV show would be one of the biggest actors to come out of Friday Night Lights? And he's married to Kirsten Dunst. Not bad at all. A little shit. So I was looking forward to him. You also got Brendan Fraser in here. I was looking forward to that. Coming off of his Academy Award win. So, and this looked interesting. It looked like a crime thriller. So in all the making of a Scorsese movie, and then a 3.5 hour runtime, I was like, man, Marty, I know you're getting old and you want to put everything in your movies and not leave anything to waste. John Hammond would say, spare no expense. But man, The Irishman was 3.5 hours, The Wolf of Wall Street was 3 hours. Now we got another 3.5 hour movie. Man, you just watch those movies, Wolfie, Irishman, and now this. That'd be over 10 hours of watching movies. 10 hours on the positive. Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, this guy there's a reason why he's one of the best actors working in the business. He is phenomenal. And not only that, in this movie, he's ugly. He doesn't look like his normal, hot playboy, devilish looks. Even though they do kind of make fun of that in the movie. Handsome devil. He's not good looking, and his teeth are all messed up. His hair is all weird looking. He's not like Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street, or even Howard Hughes in The Aviator. That's for sure. But even in like the first act of this movie, he's able to bring this charm and charisma to the role, um, trying to woo this Native American played by Lily Gladstone. And you just buy into it. Because Leo knows how to just bring that charm. But then also, what I also like about his character, he's not smart. I don't want to say he's like what's eating Gilbert Grape level, but it's pretty close. I mean, it is really close. There is a scene in this movie. He's, he's playing also Robert De Niro. And I am telling you, I laughed so hard in this moment, and so was my sister. Even though no one else in the theater was. But it was still one of the funniest moments in the entire movie. And there is humor in this movie. But I have never seen Leo play a character like this. Maybe, like I said, since what's eating Gilbert Grape. But not on that level. I think people would be offended if he played it on that level by now. But it was like that. It was like he's charming in the first, and then he's almost like evil in the second and third half of this movie. And it's a really great character. Once again, another huge highlight for DiCaprio when you look at all the other roles he's played in a Scorsese film. This is another notch on the belt. Also, Robert De Niro. And this guy spent over 50 years working with Scorsese. And here he plays DiCaprio's uncle named King. Like, really? No, that's a badass name. Call me King. King. And I like De Niro. De Niro's great in this movie. I mean, he's a white old man. A racist white old man. And he just pulls it off so well. Him and DiCaprio have a lot of scenes together. And them just going back and forth. It's mesmerizing to watch. Lily Gladstone is a newcomer. I like how Scorsese finds these newcomers and brings them in. Like Margot Robbie in The Wolf of Wall Street. Or even you can go back to like The Aviator. Kate Beckinsale was really not a huge well-known actress other than for Serendipity and Pearl Harbor at the time. So, and then like I think you got Margot Robbie in Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, he finds these actresses that really make a huge mark on the film. And Lily Gladstone as our main protagonist, the main Native American that we're following in this movie, she does a great job off of Leo, off of De Niro. She really is the emotional, the heart and soul of this movie, if you will. And I'm really curious to see where her career goes after this. Kind of like Margot Robbie after The Wolf of Wall Street. I mean, you look at Margot Robbie now and you go, look how far she's come in 10 years. It's amazing. I like the crime aspect of this movie. Like I said, this movie does at moments feel like a mob film. One of Scorsese's Goodfellas, or Casinos, or The Departed, or even The Irishman, where it goes into the crime aspect of killing these Native Americans. You really get this, like I said, this mob gangster feel in terms of the action, the editing, the cinematography, and I really like that aspect. I also like how they explored the culture of the Native American culture. Scorsese does spend a lot of time on that. That's not a negative, because I think that needed to happen from the way they bury their families, how they do their weddings. Also, there's a really great scene where DiCaprio comes over to the house of Lily Gladstone's, and they're sitting down drinking. They have this great moment together, and then it starts to rain, and they're about to start sitting down and drinking whiskey, and he wants to pour the drink. She's like, no, we have to wait. Because it's raining outside, and Native Americans and nature and how they, look at things differently than other people. And he's like, for how long? She's like, as long as it takes. Meaning until the rain stops, which that could be 5 minutes, that could be hours later. And I thought that was a great character moment. The entire sequence, great character moment. And also, once again, it shows the Native American culture and how they respect nature probably more than most people. And like that, I do like how Scorsese explored all nature of Native American culture, from the wedding, how they do weddings, funerals, just way of life. Now, I think we haven't really seen explored too much in movies, not even like Dances with Wolves or even Yellowstone. Right then, there's humor in this movie. I did not expect this movie to have a lot of humor. I don't know, the killing of Native Americans, almost the genocide of this whole village, this town of Indians. But there is humor, like I said, I mentioned the scene with Robert De Niro. There's another scene with Robert De Niro and Leo that I know my brother-in-law couldn't stop laughing in. I won't say what happened in that scene, but he couldn't stop laughing. But there is humor in this movie, and it worked. The editing, I think the editing is really sharp. Even when they combine like old footage of black and white, grainy looking footage with the footage that present day in the film. The way they edit this film, I think, was great. The cinematography is outstanding. A lot of this movie is shot outside, and you really get those landscape shots, especially in the third half of the movie. There's a scene where this plantation is burning, and just the look of the colors with the reds and the oranges, it really pops out. So I really love the cinematography in this movie. Some of my negatives with this film, the pacing. This is a 3.5 hour movie. Now, I didn't mind it too much because we didn't see this movie till 9 p.m. at night. I mean, to go into a 9 p.m. movie and it's a 3.5 hour movie, you're going to be like, oh my god, this is the Wolf of Wall Street all over again. Now, the Wolf of Wall Street, to me, is the fastest 3-hour movie I've ever seen. Well, we saw that movie like at 9 p.m. on Christmas night. And are we really doing this? Are we really doing this? And I didn't think I think there were some slow spots in the movie. I think they took way too long to get to Jesse Plemons' character. That I think you should have jumped that up like 20 minutes and started that whole storyline earlier. I think there's other scenes that they keep doing and repeating, and I think it's like, okay, we know what Leo's doing, we know it's really, really bad, so we don't need to see scene after scene after scene after scene of it. Like I said, Jesse Plemons, I like Jesse Plemons. But like I think they waited too long to bring his character in. That I was literally like, where is Jesse Plemons? I mean, they showed him in the trailer. Did they cut him out of the movie? Because we were like over 2 hours in this movie, and there's still no Jesse Plemons. I'm like, what is going on here? When it comes to Brendan Fraser, I'm a huge Brendan Fraser fan. Now, I've heard that the character in the book is very much like what we see in the movie. But when we are introduced to Brendan Fraser in this movie, I thought he was acting in a completely different movie. I was like, now I know Brendan Fraser just won the Academy Award, and he actually is a really good actor. Why is he so bad in this scene? It's like horrendous. So that one moment with Brendan Fraser really threw me off. Final 5 minutes of this movie. I can't spoil it, but I thought it was very weird. Very weird. How they closed this movie out. So overall, I do enjoy this movie. I think it's a very good movie. There's still some issues with it. Pacing, waiting so long to bring in a character. One actor, I think he was acting in a different movie altogether. And I think the last 5 minutes were kind of, why did they go that route? So I would give this like a 4.3 out of 5. I don't think it's as good as some of the other Scorsese DiCaprio movies, which I am going to do a ranking of those later this week. But I still think it's a fine movie. I never think it's a movie I'm going to have to go back and watch eventually. Did you see Killers of the Flower Moon? Let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like I said, I'm going to have a ranking of the DiCaprio Scorsese movies later this week, so stay tuned for that. And like I said, let me know, were you a fan of this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Matt the Bat here. Yeah, handsome devil, you.